Okay, I just wanted to give a brief overview of what we're doing here. This is the Surface Pro 4 i7. This is the Intel Xtreme tuning utility. What we're doing is we're undervolting the CPU and the GPU, or the integrated graphics unit, on this machine to see if we can get better results in FurMark. Now, FurMark is a graphics or GPU benchmark utility. It stresses it. It's not a real world test. You're going to see very low FPS results in this program, but that's what it's all about. It's a benchmark. That being said, we want to see how it holds up and what kind of power limit throttling that we see. So far, I have not seen any thermal throttling while running this program, but we definitely have power limit throttling, and that's where the undervolting comes in. So to undervolt, this is what you do. You just go to the core. Now you can adjust the core voltage here, and for the graphics unit, you can adjust that here. Now I have a preset profile. This is so far what I've found is working for me. I'm going to show you those values. Negative 110 MV and negative 90 MV for the graphics voltage offset. So those are the two values we're gonna try for this test to see what happens. I find that going any higher than 130 and your system is just unstable for the CPU and the GPU. Again, if you're at like 110 or something like that, it's just not, it just doesn't fare so well. Okay, so I've got it set up. Let's start the test. I'm going to run this for about 5 minutes, and we're going to try to see what the average is in regard to FPS and other things. Okay. Those are my FurMark settings. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. There we go. It's just so we can see everything going on. So far we've got power limit throttling, even with our undervolting. It's not 100% yet. Okay, we're starting to see the FPS tank. Well, not exactly. It started out better. You could see we've got Most recent maximum is 82% power throttle at this point. But we seem to be holding steady now at about 11 FPS. Okay, so we've run this for about 5 minutes, give or take, probably a little longer. And it looks like the graphics frequency is anywhere between 698 to 748. The core frequency is, oh, there just bounced a little bit, but it seems to hover around 1.19 gigahertz. Power limit throttling is still present even at this level. It reaches a maximum of about 84%. These are some of the other values in case everyone wants to see them. And it looks like we're getting about 11 FPS. 11, usually, sometimes it drops to 10 there, but overall we're getting about 11 FPS on 1920, 1080 in FurMark. Okay, so now I'm going to close this off. I'm going to close FurMark off. I'm going to close Intel XTU and reopen it. I want to just give this a minute before running the next test. Let it Give it a second to rest. So you might want to skip ahead, so I don't feel like breaking up the video. In the meantime, I'm going to change the voltage back to the default. Just make sure it's on default. It looks like it was already default actually, so that wasn't necessary, but okay. So now everything is default, and we'll let it simmer down a little longer. Okay, now that it's been given a break, let's go ahead and start the test. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We tanked big time. We're only seeing 7 and 8 FPS right now with the default settings. So that is a significant difference. And it looks like the processor graphics frequency is also not holding what it was. I think it was around 600, 700, something like that. But I will let the test continue. But we did see a drop. You know, we're going 9 and 10 FPS. As we saw before, it was holding steady at about 11. well, now it seems like maybe it's evening out because I can see that it still seems to be faltering between 9 and 10 rather than 11 and 10 on the other. The core frequency is much lower, if you notice. Before, we pretty much had a steady 1.19 gigahertz. Now it's just capped at 0.99. Doesn't seem to want to go much higher than that. So, the difference here, so we definitely see a difference in the regular core frequency. Again, we just seem to be faltering between 9 and 10. I guess that initial dip, perhaps, was just, it just did adjusting. So far, we've had a peak power throttling of 93% maximum. We had, I believe it was 84% on the other test. Okay, so it's been fast 5 minutes at this point. So here's where we stand. Looks like core frequency is holding at 0.99 gigahertz compared to the 1.19 with the undervolting. So that's a difference. The processor graphics frequency is about 648 megahertz. It seems a little iffy because I can see it really bouncing around. So let's take a look at power limit throttling now. Okay, so power limit throttling's recent maximums. Okay, so we haven't gone higher than 93%. So we still have power throttling on both. The other test was faltering between 10 and 11. The FPS right now is faltering between 9 and 10. So we are seeing, you can say roughly, you want 2 FPS difference. 1 FPS stable. So yes, there is a difference. What kind of real world difference this will be, I'm not sure. But these are the results. And let's just go over the values so everyone can see them. And that's about it. So that's the undervolting results. And I hope you enjoyed the video.